This is a Bob Miller red-tailed hawk study casting. Turn it around so you can view it from a different angle. Of course, you can always pause this video at any time when I don't hold it in your view long enough. I try to do that, but sometimes I miss. So, I'm going to take some measurements now. The distance between the eyes is one of the biggest measurements for me when I'm doing my pattern development. And here we have 50 millimeters. The distance from the front to the back of the eye, and this can vary because this bird is deceased. This is 15.9 millimeters. And I always like to compare both sides. This is where things can be a little bit different depending upon the casting. It can change things up, but we're about the same here at 15.9. Other important measurements for me would be the width at the back of the upper and lower mandible, the flange, and that comes up to 56 millimeters. The distance between the back of the nostrils is 12.6 millimeters. Go to the front of the nostrils and it is 8.3 millimeters. If you go straight down from the front of the nostrils, you have 12 millimeters for the upper mandible width. The distance between the center of the beak, where it meets the feathers on top, on the upper mandible, and the tip of the beak, is 31.2 millimeters. From the same point, I measure the outermost curve of that bill, or beak, which is 13.1. the width of the upper mandible, and you can see I have some reference point. This is put in with pencil. I've got pupils, back of the flange, middle, about a quarter of the way through on both sides, just so that I have some points of reference to put onto my pattern. So directly straight down at the back of the nostrils, slightly different than in front. It'll be 16.1, 16.2 millimeters. And the lower mandible points on either side where the feathers meet the beak on the lower mandible is 17. The distance between that same point and the center of the beak on the lower mandible, where the feathers meet the beak, is 10 millimeters. The width where, at the point where the feathers meet the beak and the lower mandible, of the lower mandible, that width would be 11.2. From the center of the lower mandible to the tip, which rests inside the upper mandible when it's closed, and the beak is closed, is 13 millimeters. The width at the tip of the beak is 15.8. I'm sorry, 5.8. Big difference. Scratch the 15. 5.8. The width just behind the beak and in front of the eyes, another important measurement, is 28.2. And again, we'll do the behind the eyes. It's 51.2. Try and do some close-up zooming in to show more detail. Like I said, it's difficult to stay in view and in focus, especially when I'm trying to do a close-up. I'll show the shape of the head from above. Again, by rolling it. is a Bob Miller red-tailed hawk study casting.